Welcome to my first cast of the $1,000 Kotu.org Dr. Fox Rexenfault tournament. Oh my god, the hype could not be higher. This game is going to be Dsmokey versus Qvazar. This is round one, single elimination, only one game crossing in the woods. This particular game is going to be Qvazar as Soviets in the south base versus Dsmokey in the north base. We have Qvazar going with a double conscript start. Grenadiers coming out of Dsmokey's base. Followed immediately by an MG42. Conscripts grabbing the strategic point.
Good work, comrades. This now belongs to us.
While combat engineers make their way to the left to grab the fuel. Pioneers going straight for the center victory point. Grenadiers following up, heading for the munitions. Conscripts heading for the left side victory point, taking up a position in cover behind the canoe and bushes. I think that's a canoe. Some kind of boat. Conscripts close the gap without taking too much damage on approach. Grenadiers, on the other hand, falling extremely low. More conscripts closing in. Definitely can't win that engagement. The Grenadiers are forced away. The machine gun is making its way to the front lines. May have some difficulty with these conscripts. These ones are leaving cover, however. Splitting his two squads nicely. Oorahing, but they're stuck on these crawling entity. The whole squad is stuck on this one crawling conscript. And only two of them actually made it back there for the flag. Okay, there they go, ready to catch up. Apparently that was sufficient to force that machine gun to retreat, however. And the Soviets will successfully take the left side. Meanwhile, Pioneers have fallen back to grab the cutoff. More Grenadiers hitting the field. Qvazar going with a fourth squad of conscripts. And is rotating now over to the right side and cut off.
We have more conscripts at our
Which
disposal.
should keep him in a pretty secure map control position. Grenadiers moving to counter. Conscripts don't have very good cover here. Machine gun will be setting up in red cover though, but unfortunately the conscripts are firing on the Grenadiers. First squad forced retreat, Oorahing around to try and flank, but they do get suppressed before making out of the machine gun's arc of fire, and the machine gun bunker will cover his flanks regardless. These Grenadiers and machine gun will force that conscript squad to retreat. This one, meanwhile, has taken cover behind this hedge and will attempt to harass this territory. While the Grenadiers retake the cutoff, machine gun will rotate to face them. And they're taking heavy damage, but it looks like they may be able to decap this point. Meanwhile, we have mines going down over here on the left side. We also have more conscripts moving up from the center victory point. Fresh conscript squad making its way towards the right side strategic point. He has successfully decapped this strategic point here, but the machine gun is now firing. And they will be forced away. Grenadiers moving to retake the cutoff now. And we have a third Grenadier squad and a fifth conscript squad from Qvazar. Really heavy investment in the conscripts here. Makes me wonder if he's thinking of choosing Soviet Shock Army or something with PPSHs. No, he doesn't have PPSHs
Fresh conscripts have arrived.
at his disposal, so he's going to have to rotate into something other than conscripts soon. 5 is kind of a lot, though.
People and workers of the Soviet Union.
Conscripts under attack!
Conscripts get caught trying to cross the river. Dsmokey is definitely building a bit of a front line here on the right side. He's also put up barbed wire here on the center victory point. Grenadiers have forced away conscripts there on the left side munitions. And Grenadiers are definitely beating those conscripts at range. Pioneers moving up to support will finish capturing the right side victory point. Grenadiers over here engaging two squads of conscripts. The conscripts do have access to Molotovs. Molotov going out! No flame crits, and the Grenadier squad is actually still pretty okay. Although they're taking heavy damage. Model losses. He needs to retreat that squad, and here's the mine! Oh! There's the squad wipe. If he had retreated the other way, that might not have happened. But it did happen.
Yes, comrades.
And these conscripts may end up throwing another grenade or Molotov regardless. Those grenadiers can't win that engagement, and they will be forced to retreat. But here at the cutoff, Soviet cutoff, grenadiers are harassing. These conscripts will make it into the capture circle before the point is whited. Grenadiers taking model losses, and they won't be able to take on the Soviet blob and are forced to retreat once more. Fresh squad of grenadiers does force away the conscripts on the far munitions point, however. And this is a fresh squad of grenadiers brought in to replace this squad that got wiped by the mine. Conscripts attempting to cross the river once again, but this squad is heavily wounded and unsupported. Going to take a lot of damage in the red cover. 2 models dropped. Molotov throwing, nice dodge. Takes no damage from the Molotov. 2 more models go down. Grenadiers take almost no damage in that engagement. 5 out of 6 conscripts taken out. Very nice play by Dsmokey there. A bit of a mistake by Qvazar. Meanwhile, he is making a push for the right side once again. He's kind of struggling with his conscript-only build to get across this river. Oh, they stepped in the fire. So much for that guy. Nice Ura trying to get past the machine gun start to fire. The Molotov is going out. Machine gun will reposition out of the flames, taking very minimal damage there. Meanwhile, nice use of the Pioneers to protect the flank, inflicting heavy damage on those conscripts at close range. And Dsmokey is still doing quite well for territory here. Harassing the cutoff with his grenadiers once again. Looks like some conscripts may make it past him towards his own cutoff, while Pioneers harass the right side munitions point. I've had the wrong overlay on this whole time. Oops.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
There, that's better.
Will be keeping it.
Oh well.
Enemy is engaging us.
Molotov goes out once again, and Grenadiers will be forced to retreat. There is now a mortar on the field. Interesting. Sending it to the left side rather than the right, even though that's where the machine gun is. Lots of munitions being spent, by the way, on this S-mine field. Dsmokey may want to consider getting an LMG on some of his grenadiers soon. Also, as far as tech, he is now teching to battle phase 2, which makes me think he might be skipping tier 2 and going straight for a Panzer IV. But I guess we'll see. Pioneers there being forced to retreat. He will spot his opponent's mortar. Conscripts harassing the left side. Munitions, Grenadiers retake the cutoff.
It is now under our control. Engage!
Rifle grenade going out. Nice dodge. Nice dodge. And those rifle grenades are not something that Dsmokey can really afford to use lightly. His munitions are very precious to him. He does have 42 coming in right now, but he is losing the right side munitions point, and he has not yet purchased... Oh, I take that back. Ooh, nice mortar. Inflicted a lot of friendly fire as well, though. He has purchased 1 LMG here on this Grenadier squad. So that should help him to vet up and win these engagements against these conscripts. He needs to be mindful of the Molotovs, though. Here it comes. Takes a little bit of damage from the flames, and it's forcing him to close into really close range. He also will be forced to retreat there. Mortars continuing to be fired. That conscript squad is getting focused down and will have to retreat. These conscripts look like they'll win this engagement, though those grenadiers may need to retreat. Oh, rifle grenade on that extremely spread out squad. Seemed like a waste to me. That's 2 rifle grenades now with very little return on investment. He could have saved those 60 munitions and purchased an LMG instead. It needs to be a lot Needs to be a lot more conservative with those rifle grenades, but we do see support armor core going up now, so he is skipping tier 2 and going straight for tier 3, probably thinking about either an Ostwind for the conscripts or a Panzer IV. However, we will also note that the Soviet player is cooking a T-70 now, which I don't think that Dsmokey is ready for.
Comrades, we are now in
Oh no, walking into an S-mine field. He does notice at the last moment. Meanwhile, Grenadiers engaging some conscripts on the cutoff. It looks like a pretty nice mortar landed there, inflicting a few model losses. It's up to 3 kills now. Thought it had more, actually. It has 1 friendly fire kill as well. It should be Vet 1 quite soon. T-70 hitting the field. Dsmokey's not really ready for it. He doesn't have the fuel for a tank for quite some time, and he skips tier 2, so he has no pack. I think that this T-70 could punish his build decisions really, really badly here. Unless there's a teller mine somewhere that I don't know about. Machine gun immediately being forced to retreat. I think that T-70 may wipe it, giving Qvazar an opportunity to steal it if he can take it out before it gets back to base. But he breaks off the chase to go deal with this threat here. Grenadiers crossing the river, forcing his mortar to retreat. T-70 is on its way. And Dsmokey is going to maintain control of his fuel for just that precious extra amount of time that he needs to get a tank onto the field. He may rush an Ostwind out rather than hold out for P4, because that is a full 60 seconds of that T-70 potentially wiping squads. Starting with these Grenadiers, no, not going to chase. Instead, pulling back for some reason. He has upgraded a minesweeper here on these combat engineers, so he will be able to clear out that S-mine field. Yeah, I think he definitely had an opportunity to wipe some squads there. He obviously doesn't realize that his opponent has skipped tier 2 yet, and that may come as a nasty surprise when this Stug hits the field. So he's not even going to wait for an Ostwind. He's actually just going to get a Stug, which if he can get a few lucky shots off or a Faust off on the T-70, and Stug can certainly take it out. But I think that Stug may fall off a little bit later on. As far as the investment each player is making, the T-70 is 200 manpower, 70 fuel. The Stug is 230 manpower, 80 fuel. It's just a little bit more expensive. Stug won't be able to do a whole lot to conscripts, I don't think, compared to the effect that T-70 will have on all these Grenadiers. Meanwhile, Pioneers trying to maintain control of the cutoff here, closing in on these conscripts. They will be forced to retreat though, taking heavy damage. Machine gun trying to suppress, but the Pioneer squad gets wiped while he's not watching. He's trying to micro this engagement here with his Stug. He does take engine damage from a squad of conscripts there. Meanwhile, these Grenadiers taking heavy damage. Might get wiped by this conscript squad. He needs to retreat. Don't lose that Vet 2 LMG squad. Please, no. Pay attention. Meanwhile, oh no, there goes the vetted squad. Stug takes another AT grenades, taking heavy damage. The T-70 is attempting to flank around. Grens here do recover the LMG, but they are dangerously close to getting wiped themselves. The T-70 is in their retreat path. Oh no. It's missing its shots, and the T-70 is not going to chase that. What is he thinking? How is he not going to chase that? The Stug is attempting to rotate the fire on it. It has a damaged engine still. Conscripts may throw yet one more AT grenade, but he's just trying to finish it off with nothing but the T-70, and it looks like he will be successful because of its damaged engine. There it goes, AT grenade. Stug gets taken out. He got basically nothing out of that unit, and it was such a big investment for him. Meanwhile, over here on the right side, mines have been swept up by these combat engineers, but Grens will be able to retake the fuel point. And by some miracle, these Grenadiers made it home because that T-70 didn't chase. I honestly can't believe that T-70 only has 4 kills right now. He's had so many squad wipe opportunities with that thing, but he hasn't capitalized on them. Probably could have won the game by now, to be honest. As for doctrine, it looks like Qvazar has chosen shock, or no, guard, mechanized support, that's what it's called. Guards and ISUs, so his late game is going to be just as devastating as his mid game is being. Stockpiling fuel for ISU now. Grenadiers taking heavy damage from T-70, and that's the T-70's first squad wipe, just sitting at a Grenadier squad that wasn't being microed, I guess. Conscripts moving up to take the cutoff here as well. Those Grenadiers will retreat. We do see him back-teching to Tier 2 now, actually. And calling in a squad of Panzer Grenadiers and immediately upgrading them with Panzer Shreks. And that's quite a hefty munitions investment to do that, which is kind of risky against the T-70 because they're not necessarily guaranteed to win that engagement, although they do perform quite well against conscript spam. But once they have Panzer Shreks, they really won't do very good against conscript spam anymore. Panzer Grenadiers taking heavy damage before their upgrade is complete. Coming dangerously close to losing the squad. He's gonna have to get 2 volleys off on the T-70. Oh no, 3 models dropped in 1 shot.
We are losing Soldat.
Fortunately, he manages to get the squad to safety, just barely in time. But in the meantime, he's lost a squad of Pioneers and taking heavy damage on that. On all of his squads here. His machine gun will be forced to retreat. He does not have the munitions to fire a Panzerfaust on that T-70. His reign of terror continues. It's up to 15 kills now. And it is getting some repairs, popping its self-repair ability and repairing with combat engineers as well. And everything will be forced to retreat from the right side. Dsmokey currently has 95 fuel. Probably not going to repeat the mistake of getting a Stug. And he may instead purchase an Ostwind.
Fuck, I'm hit.
Panzer IV.
Ready.
Field gun hits the field. Dsmokey has been reduced to almost no units remaining.
Enemy fire! MG-42 crew has been promoted.
Soviet map control continues to reign supreme. Conscripts will be taking that strategic point. Combat engineers probably taking this strategic point soon. German counterattack on the left side.
Territory is falling into enemy
Oh, high
hands.
explosive barrage. Well, I'm not sure what that was aimed at. That was terrible.
God's troops ready for
I think he fired that blind, and he's now walking into it. T-70 is doing massive damage. Molotov going out. They have to retreat, and they're in the T-70's retreat path. There's no pack protecting their retreat path either. It's only halfway constructed. 2 models remaining. They might go down just into the coaxial machine gun. Oh no. 1 model. He does not chase. He doesn't chase. Wow. I would have chased that. I would have thrown my T-70 to its doom to chase that. I haven't even thought about it. Meanwhile, heavy damage on that Grenadier squad. I don't think this one's getting away. Nope, there it goes. Conscripts will take the left side victory point. Meanwhile, harassment on the right side continues, and this pack is rally pointed right into these conscripts. Oh no, he's giving a free pack to his enemy at the worst possible time. Oh no. There it goes. I think that's gonna seal the game. That was not a loss that he could afford to sustain. His Panzer IV is on the way, but it's just not gonna matter with that stolen pack unless these Panzer Grenadiers work a miracle.
Area secure. We're under attack.
A field gun and a pack is way too much for a Panzer IV to take on. Not to mention that there are mines now littering the entire field. Pack trying to get away from those Panzer Grenadiers. If they step on this mine, it could be catastrophic depending on how they clump. Oh, but he actually switched direction a little bit. Course corrected. Oh no! Oh, devastating shot, and he's retreating through the T-70 once again. And finally, that Panzer Grenadier squad is wiped, bringing him down to effectively nothing remaining. But a Grenadier squad, a machine gun, and a brand new Panzer IV.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Panzer IV engaging the T-70. It looks like he's being a little bit lazy about microing that, but an ISU is already on the field. 21-minute ISU hitting the field just after his opponent's first tank. Oh, well, he made a stug, so I take that back. The T-70 has been destroyed, however. ISU making its way forward. The P-4 will back away to safety. Pioneers being brought in for repairs. Grenade fired at some guards over there, but DP machine guns may be able to win this engagement for them. Nope. Ouch. Massive damage being inflicted by those triple vet grenadiers. He needs to pay attention. Could lose this squad. But he doesn't stop to fire.
We are losing territory.
I think he probably could have wiped that on retreat. But he didn't. The ISU has equipped armor-piercing rounds at the moment. There is a top-mounted machine gun, however. It is now focusing sight, giving him vision of the center road there, up to about where that T-70 was. Panzer IV being repaired. Fresh squad of Grenadiers hitting the field. And as far as victory points, things aren't looking too good for Dsmokey. He has 200 remaining.
Anti-tank gun is ready for action.
And a fresh field gun has hit the field, so there is now an ISU and 2 field guns and a stolen pack defending against a lone Panzer IV. I definitely think that Dsmokey is going to need a minesweeper as well to have any chance of pushing.
Objective secured. We will defend it to the death. Heavy tanks standing by.
A Grenadier squad just got wiped by a mine. Wow, that is, see, that's not the kind of thing he can afford to be happening. He needs that minesweeper. Or wait, maybe it wasn't a Gren squad. Yeah, it was a Grenadier squad. Where's his Pioneers? He had Pioneers a minute ago. I guess they're dead. Well, he needs a new squad. Yeah, they're dead right there. He needs a new squad of Pioneers and he needs a minesweeper. Or that's just gonna keep happening.
Okay, that's the last one.
The enemy has cut off a sector.
Contact with the enemy. Down.
Oh, there it is. Panzer IV hit a mine and now has engine damage, and a big infantry push from the Soviets is making its way up the center. ISU does have high explosive rounds loaded at the moment, posing a huge threat to those Grenadiers. Every shot could wipe out a squad. There it is. First squad wipe for that ISU. P4 is firing on these conscripts, doing what it can, closing in at close range on the Panzer IV, but they opt not to throw the AT grenade as it already has a damaged engine. Nasty shot from the ISU on a fresh Grenadier squad, dealing massive damage. These Grenadiers are at Vet 3 trying to get rid of these guards. The Panzer IV also doing what it can. DP is dropped, but they immediately recover it and retreat. Meanwhile, this Grenadier squad is taking massive damage and needs to get away from those Vet 3 conscripts, but he doesn't notice it in a time. He was trying to circle around for a Panzerfaust, and he got punished for it quite hard.
Assault gun.
80 points remaining now for the Oster.
The enemy has 75 points remaining. You appear suited for command.
Pioneer's repairing the Panzer IV. It has hit Vet 1. It only has 5 kills. He hasn't gotten nearly enough of a return on investment from that unit. Meanwhile, the ISU already has 6. It's already done better than the Panzer IV, despite hitting the field a little bit later. Conscripts will encounter a Vet 2 machine gun here on the right side. The Panzer IV is moving to counter. He desperately needs to take control of a victory point before time runs out, though. Only 47 points remaining now. Just doesn't have the squads to do it. Any attempt by that Panzer IV to cross the river is almost certainly going to hit a mine somewhere. Any attempt at a push would just be a death sentence without a minesweeper. They're everywhere. Pioneers making their way out. Grenadiers moving, but he's just been too slow. Just made too many mistakes. He can't come back from this situation. There are only 20 points remaining, and at this point I don't think it's even possible for him to stop the clock. 14 points.
Ready for combat.
Qvazar actually bringing in a T-34 for some reason.
People anticipate
Doesn't really matter what he brings in. 5 points remaining.
Points remaining.
2 points. And that will conclude the game. Dsmokey will be eliminated from the tournament, and Qvazar will move on. So that's it.